So thanks to a new press event lately, we got a new look at Crackdown 3 gameplay, and it looks like the release is actually for real this time, which means it's only going to be around 2 weeks away since the game will be releasing on February 15th. So let's talk about what we saw from the new gameplay, see if it's good, see if it's bad, and just talk about it, because I'm not too happy. So, the main takeaway for me from what I saw is that it looks exactly like Crackdown. And from what I really see, I just hope at this point it's just fun. Kind of talking about the campaign stuff, it is kind of hard to tell from the footage. The gunplay looks really simple, but also looks like it could get bored really fast. And some things I did notice is that they did have a decent variety of weapons, it looks like, which is good. They do have the same 5 stats from the first game with the different orbs that you can pick up, like agility, weapons, strength, explosives, driving, all that kind of stuff. And it does look like it'll be that same kind of fun just going around getting those orbs. So that's good, that's kind of a simple concept, and I don't really have a problem with that. One complaint I do have, however, is that it visually, just overall watching this gameplay, I was just kind of bored and it looked really unappealing. It just looks dark. Most of the clips they showed of everything from this press event were all at night, along with all the gameplay they've shown pretty much all to this point, which just makes it look kind of like bad, I guess, and it looks rough and not really polished. Obviously, Crackdown has this art style that they want to stick to, and that's fine, but you can do that in a way using modern technology that doesn't make it look like a game that came out in 2012 or 2011 or whenever it looks like this game came out just based off its like graphics. And just talking about the gameplay in the like open world, obviously it's an open world game, it's a huge sandbox. And the first Crackdown didn't really have like a crazy, amazing, dense open world, but it was a fun sandbox that at the time it came out was really refreshing and really cool. However, comparing it now, the world just looks kind of sparse and not really like too much fun. But all the gameplay it showed was pretty much just the person going around. And granted, there wasn't like a lot of higher level gameplay where they had like the crazy god abilities and that type of thing. But it was a lot of just the picking up tires and picking up like cars if they could, and just throwing them, and just not too much crazy stuff in really like an open world sense. It was just more of like a general sandbox, which I know is what Crackdown is, but still it doesn't look like it'll be too entertaining for too long. And literally just everything about it looks like a 360 game in terms of visuals, game design, mechanics, and just everything about it. There is, to me, one of the biggest disappointments ever in this game is that there is going to be absolutely no cloud-based destruction in the campaign, which is a huge bummer. If you guys remember that Gamescom 2015 thing where they showed the destruction originally, they said, alright, this is going to be like in the campaign pretty much, and then they had like the co-op campaign stuff with you and your friend destroying giant buildings together in the city, and that had me so excited. It was going to be awesome. And now that that's just out of there, they went back on their word pretty much, and that was one of the things that just had me so excited. And now that that's not really a thing, it pretty much just looks like a modern-ish Crackdown remaster, and that's about it. There's absolutely nothing where I was like, wow, that looks really cool, oh my god, I can't wait to play it. It was just, I wasn't really expecting that, but the only thing I was really expecting to be kind of wowed at was the destructibility, which they've completely changed around. So now that that's gone, it just looks generic, and overall the campaign footage to me was definitely a little disappointing. So next, let's move on to the multiplayer, the Wrecking Zone multiplayer, which we heard about a few weeks ago, I believe, or maybe it was at that event in December. Either way, I was a little interested in it because I thought it was kind of cool that Crackdown was adding multiplayer just to kind of add more value to their package, and it sort of has me interested now, kind of. It basically looks like super chaotic fun, I think, kind of like what we saw from that first trailer stuff back in December, that I honestly don't think it'll be technically great or well balanced or anything like that, anything that makes a technically good multiplayer game. It does look kind of cool though, and looks like it has cool elements inside of it. The gunplay once again in the campaign looks very simple with just a lock-on based shooting feature that I'm sure will be alright and just be kind of fun, I guess, maybe for a little bit, just like the campaign. And this is, of course, where we do see the cloud-based destructibility that they mentioned all the way back in 2015, which also seems pretty good, but not as good as it should be for all the time this game has been in development. I also wish it was, like I said, just in the campaign. This game will launch in the multiplayer with only 3 maps, which is not great, especially if they're trying to make this like a decent part of their package that they're going to advertise, not just something they kind of threw in there just to add a little bit more value to it. So that kind of sucks. And going back to the destructibility, it just doesn't really seem, they have cool things like people will like charge through walls and stuff and just kind of like do cool things like that, kind of creating lines of sight in the map, but there's no taking down entire buildings like there were in that demo that we kind of been promised for years. There was none of that, and to see kind of the downgrade that that's gone through, and to see that it's really only going to be implemented in arena multiplayer just to pretty much function as like being able to shoot other players more easily, and just kind of in a like gameplay sense for, like I said, creating lines of sight. That's really disappointing. And I will say that it looks better than I would initially expected for Crackdown multiplayer, but it definitely isn't blowing me away. And besides that, that's really all I have to say. Again, I don't really have super high expectations for this game, besides just being a stupid, dumb, fun Crackdown sequel. But from everything I've seen, it just looks even disappointing to that. It's definitely not terrible, but just, like I said, really disappointing, especially considering this thing's been in development for 5 or 6 years now. I think it's doing a decent job of maintaining what Crackdown did, but Crackdown also released over 10 years ago, so maybe implementing that same similar style of gameplay in the year 2019 may not be the best idea when we have all these amazing AAA open world games coming out. To have Crackdown 3 come out that looks like a 2008 open world game with kind of bad graphics, looks like kind of crappy multiplayer, not crappy, but the only thing it's kind of bringing to the table is its destructibility, which it seems like a decent starting ground, but like I said, for releasing in 2019 is not really gonna cut it. Like seems like pretty simple gameplay style, not a great campaign. The multiplayer looks fine, and it overall, the visuals don't look good, or they don't look bad. Once again, like I'm fine with it. They want to stick to that art style, but obviously it looks like this game is coming out when it initially started development, probably around like 2013, 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. That's what it looks like visually. So to see that that's now releasing in 2019 after all the delays is not great, and it's going to reflect very, very poorly on this game probably. You can even see all the negativity just from all the dislikes the videos have, the gameplay demos from this event, just all the dislikes they have on YouTube. So people are not happy about this, and I can kind of see why now. I've been holding on to this game, holding on hope for a while now that this game would really be something special, and that I was so excited since I love the original Crackdown. But after seeing what it is and seeing how it kind of isn't really changing with the times in a way that still maintains Crackdown's identity, just kind of remaking Crackdown and implementing the same exact gameplay features that were popular 10 years ago in a game today, and seeing how that's going to go, I don't think it's going to go well. And again, there's still a lot we didn't see in this, so hopefully I will be wrong and the game will end up being a ton of fun. But for now, and from what we've seen, and I'm just pretty disappointed. I'm not too optimistic, but we'll just have to wait and see on February 15th what I think when I will be playing it, and hopefully be doing more videos and reviews and stuff like that. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about all this Crackdown gameplay. Do you think it lives up to the hype after these 5 to 6 years of waiting, or do you think the gameplay was really, really disappointing like I did, and you're just kind of looking forward to it, but not really? Thank you guys for watching. Majestic Gaming.